Hi there crafty friends, card number 24 in the full deck challenge is inspired by this spread that I created for the Create This Book series. The prompt for this was create a colorless page, and I thought I would do the same on one of my cards. I will put details of the Create This Book project and the video to the all white page in the description below. First, go through all your craft stash and find anything and everything that you have that is white. You'd be amazed how many different tones of white there are. As I don't have a plan yet of how the card is going to look, I've just collected everything that is white, and I obviously won't use everything, but it's good for inspiration and to see what will work and what won't work on the card. I start by doing a double layer of white tissue paper on the face of the card. I glue this down with Mod Podge. I use this tissue paper technique on the majority of my cards before I start any work on them. This adds a layer of something for the mediums to adhere to, whether you're gluing things, painting things, or drawing on. Because you can't go directly onto the face of the card because it's shiny, I find this gives it a good surface to work on, and because it's very transparent, you can still see the card face through it if you still want the numbers and the suits to show. Because this card will have no color, we will work a lot with textures, and the textures will be telling the story. I start with a piece of doily. I do like that some of the areas will allow the bottom of the card to shine through. You can see a bit of red and black there. And don't worry if there's an overhang, we will trim that off later. I'm now adding a piece of lace. I'm using Mod Podge to adhere all these layers. You could use craft glue, a glue stick, or gel medium, anything that you have. This is a laser cut name that I used for a project a few years ago. I have a few spare, and although I'm not using it for the name, I do like the curly whirlies that it has, and I'm going to glue that down and let the curly whirlies stick out underneath, which I think gives it a really lovely effect. Those I'm not going to trim off. I'm going to let those hang over because I like a little bit of extension on some of my cards. You can trim the overhang pieces if you like. I'm only doing the one side of this one. I like some of it to be over the card, so I'm leaving the left side as is, and I've just trimmed the right side. You can trim it all the way around, or you can also leave the overhang all the way around the card. It depends on the look that you like. If you don't have a lot of little bits and pieces that are white in your craft stash, try also going through your different papers that you have, because you'll actually find all the different white papers have a different tone, and you can actually work with just that. The one that I'm working with now is a piece of watercolor paper, and below that I stuck earlier is a piece of white tag, and you can see how different they are. I love using my texture paste and stencils, and this card is going to get some too. I'm just going to add very little with this stencil. It's a Tim Holtz stencil. I'll put the details below in the description of this video. And I've just put very, very little. And once it's all dry, we're going to add a few more elements. I like this white cord that I wanted to add in a loop, but I couldn't find my stapler to staple it down, and glue wouldn't work. So I thought another way to do it is to sort of loop it through. So I punched a hole in the middle of the card, and I'm just threading it through a couple of times, and then I'm going to tie it off. Something a little different. I do still need to find my stapler though. I'm going to add a little bit of cheesecloth. This too I'm adding with some Mod Podge, and I just paste a piece down over the top section, and then I don't like that it's covering my texture paste a lot, so I just push it down while it's still wet to open up that area, and I leave it quite bunchy so it gives it additional texture. I just go through some of my other elements and see if anything else suits the piece and if I could add anything else. I am going to add something else with some white acrylic paints. I'm just going to water down the acrylic paint to quite a watery consistency, and then I'm going to splatter it over the entire card. Once it's all dry, I'm going to add my little wording or quote. I have this gold colored word that just says hello on a white background, and it's quite simple, but I do like how it adds to the piece. So I'm just going to attach that in the top left hand corner. I do love how on this one you can see the jack and the clubs sort of shining through on the top left, just underneath all the layers. I think that works really well. I really hope you enjoyed this video and were inspired to create your own and join my full deck challenge. You can find a group on Facebook, just search Full Deck Challenge Group. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new videos. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.